There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
Live from your glade.
That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories. Yes.
It's me.
Uh-oh.
I'm free again.
No.
Whoa, here I come. Here we go. I hear you snoozing. Oh, what you gonna do? I'm gonna team up with the My Pillow guy and make a thing called Your Pillow, because that's where I'm gonna find you when you're sleeping.
All right. Very good impression.
A little bit of a snoozy do.
Thank you so much, Henry. Welcome to Side Stories,
I
everyone.
don't want Bill Cosby to be free.
I am Ben, hanging out with Henry. Absolutely. You know what we're gonna do? Drop it. We're gonna drop
are
it.
we? Oh, you don't want me to continue to do a Bill Cosby impression throughout the rest of the show?
You know, I just think that
Come closer, you can see, I can smell your fear, see, because I cannot see,
Well,
see.
as one goes out of prison, another goes into prison. Allison Mack, we can start with that story.
Gotcha, bitch.
She's finally been sentenced. She's going to serve 3 years for her role in Nexium, for her role in branding a bunch of people with Keith Raniere's weird-ass initials. So 3 years for Allison Mack.
Did you see her statement?
She'll be sentenced, or she has to show up September 29th to turn herself in.
That's so weird. You have like 2 whole months of just like eating ice cream.
Yeah, what would
getting
you do?
your
You have 2 months before you go to prison for tax evasion. 2 months.
Mexico.
You
I'm
just
gone,
try
baby.
You try to run. Okay. Well,
I'm gone, man.
But if they think you're a flight risk, then they lock you up. Throw in a key.
Because I'll do what she did, where she just said over and over again, I'm so sorry.
That's good acting.
Each one of her statements were just been like, I'm so sorry. If I could take it back, I would. You branded people, woman. It's like, I feel like when you got, and yeah, it wasn't fast branding like they do with Steer. It was slow branding, and you watched them squirm, and you loved every minute of it. And now you might as well just like, okay, what if I send several sad emojis to the judge?
I thought you were going to say the Smallville DVD set. That'll get some time knocked off. And of course,
physical media is coming back.
She can enjoy regaling everyone with her tales of acting while she is incarcerated. However, her neighbor and also a victim, she wasn't that thrilled with the sentence.
Oh, really?
No, she didn't think it was enough. She says, it's disgusting. I can't believe it. And then she said, I'm shocked. I thought she'd at least get 7 years. I'm upset about it. So there you go. Not everyone is going to be thrilled, but
wait a second.
3 years for Allison Mack.
Wait a second.
It won't
the
be
max was only 7 years?
I'm not sure what the max was. I think that the neighbor had just had 7 stuck in their head, and they wanted 7 years.
She came back from Atlantic City. My question is that she kept sex slaves. Is this not a crime? Is this not a real crime? What was the crime that she actually got indicted? What is your crime that she actually got convicted for?
Bad acting. So be very careful, Mr. Zabrowski. You better keep your A game up.
Hey, it's not a crime if you're not caught.
The neighbor also said she's an actress. She should get an Academy Award for this. She played this. Ooh, this neighbor is so mad. And then she said for 4 years this was going on under my nose in our neighborhood. What a witch.
This woman has been in several audition rooms with Allison Mack, which is why she's mad. But honestly, what was her crime? What did the final crime end up being?
All right, well, let's take a look here. So the judge sentenced her to 3 years. The judge's name was Judge Nicholas G. Garuffus. He sentenced her for 3 years behind bars for racketeering and conspiracy charges. She pled guilty to those.
Slaves. She branded human beings.
Yeah, I guess that might be the racketeering. I'm not sure. She pled guilty to that in 2019. And in 2021, she's finally going to go, and some justice will be served. And obviously, True Talk, our heart goes out to the victims of Nexium. What a horrible freaking cult, as we learned from the 2 documentaries, one of which was dog shit, but the other one I thought was quite interesting.
The other one was good, but they all, don't worry, they all got their time in the sun, didn't they?
They all did.
There were some of them that seemed to be members of Nexium that really, really enjoyed being the stars of their own television show.
What a bunch of pseudo-smart, total morons. What was his name? Mark? Was he the guy that believed in Keith Raniere because Raniere knew math?
It was the
But
director.
All he said was like, I know different kinds of math, but he never did any math.
He was full
I hate that
of
whole group
shit.
so much.
Each one of them.
Anywho,
another-
so that tale is starting to come to an end in some ways.
Honestly, and it is good. I can't wait to see her in jail. She's going to serve a year, and then she's going to come out, and she's going to immediately go on the podcast circuit. I bet you she starts one just called, like, branding, hashtag branding with Allison Mack.
Oh, that would actually be very good if you think about it, not in the sex slave type way, but in the way where it's like, I'm a shoe brand.
That's
or
why I
I'm
did
a
that.
lifestyle
That's
brand.
the joke that I made.
You made that joke. Okay.
I want to do. I'm sorry. I'm coming on strong. You know why I'm excited for?
Why?
Because we're going to see the Harlem Globetrotters tonight.
No, we're going to see the Los Angeles Clippers
I can't wait.
play the Phoenix Suns. If you start calling them the Harlem Globetrotters, we're going to get kicked out.
No, I'm ready
Go
to enjoy
Globetrotters.
basketball because
Yes.
number one, you know what I know this time that we didn't know the last time.
What?
We can eat the hot dogs.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some hot dogs. I'm already hungry. I'm thinking about it. We're going to get some beers. Ooh, we're gonna cheer for those boys.
We are going to be the fattest, loudest people there. We cannot wait.
I can't wait. And I also want to do another update.
Oh gosh, this one is going to actually kind of break my heart.
People, this is a war that has started without us. We got involved in it. We got pulled into this civil war.
Naturally.
Watching what's happening to this country, watch it slowly be torn apart by this level of misunderstanding.
Corporate lies.
It's just unbelievable. And we got to talk about this. This is fucking huge. It's a deeper issue than even we should even be touching upon here because of how serious it is.
Yeah.
A final lab analysis was done, and it is determined Subway tuna sandwiches do not contain tuna DNA. They showed, look at this, the New York Times. This
know.
went all the way to the New York Times.
Nothing else is happening in the world. I'm just so happy the New York Times took so much time out of their busy days trying to investigate scandal after scandal to figure out what's in the tuna.
Well, it's not tuna. They could not find what they call amplifiable tuna DNA in Subway's. Now they're going as far as to call it infamous tuna sandwich, which it wasn't until now because Jared never raped anybody with a sandwich.
We actually have no idea
don't
what
know.
Jared did, and Jared is still in prison, rightfully so. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of what happens to child molesters in prison, and I'm assuming he is not having a great time.
But now I can't wait to deliver
No
Jared one of
more
my
Bill
specialty
Cosby.
cakes. Has got a file inside,
Oh,
and me and
right.
him will hang out in Mar-a-Lago with my best friends.
You wait until Cosby, OJ, and Trump are all hanging out in Mar-a-Lago. And then every head will explode in this country.
So, okay, look,
New York Times.
They submitted 60 inches worth of Subway tuna sandwiches to be tested.
So what poor schlub who works at the Times who was like, I'm going to make it one day as a newsie. And they're like, hey, Larry, why don't you go to Subway and get 60 inches of their tuna sandwich? You know that college degree you have? This is what you're using it for.
On it, boss. I'm certainly not Peter Parker. I mean, I'm certainly not Spider-Man. My name's Peter Parker.
What?
He stupid. I'm mad. They went to 3 separate Los Angeles locations. So this is LA based, which is interesting. Because this is in the wake of the lawsuit filed earlier this year alleging that the sandwich chain was serving customers, quote unquote, a mixture of various concoctions that do not constitute tuna.
Can I also say this, though? We get a little too litigious in this country.
We do.
How, and I'm not, Subway should be, if they call it tuna, it should have tuna in it. I've always said that. I
mean,
will
I'm
always
with
stand
you.
by
Of
that.
course.
Unless, of course, there is no tuna and maybe it's plant-based, in which case it could be healthier.
You still call it like cactus tuna or you call it something else.
You call it something else. But how sad is your life when you eat tuna sandwiches from Subway every day and then you get something up in your head and you're like, I don't think this is tuna. And then you go as far as getting a lawyer and filing a lawsuit just to get the answer to the big tuna question. There's just so much more going on in the world.
It's because they got cut from the first round of America's Got Talent.
That would, honestly, that would do it. Also, I did watch T-Pain sing on The Masked Singer, and he's actually very talented.
He's got a beautiful voice.
He really does.
So now there's 2 conclusions according to this data, right? They say they hear it. There's no amplifiable tuna DNA. None of it was present in the sample. They cannot identify
Is it
the
still
species.
a sample if it's 60 inches of tuna?
It's 60 inches of tuna. That is 5 sandwiches, 3 scoops per sandwich. So that is 15 scoops of tuna.
What
so
is it?
2 conclusions. One, it's so heavily processed that whatever we could pull out, we couldn't make an identification, which honestly is more pure than anything else. That's pure American melting pot.
That is so unbelievably disgusting.
Yeah, or we got some, and there's just nothing in that specific one that we got. That's tuna.
Oh my God. The whole point of a chain restaurant is that every experience is supposed to be the same. That's why when you're traveling and you're homesick, you go to an Apple Squeeze, you go to an Applebee's, you go to a Chili's, because when you're there, your family, that is actually the Olive Garden. But
olives are grown on fucking trees. How about that fucking shit?
Isn't that insane? We experienced that when we were in Italy. But when it comes to Subway, I assume 60 inches of their tuna, randomly selected from random restaurants, that's got to be pretty indicative of there's no tuna in the tuna.
I'm pretty fucking certain. But what they're saying here is that they might have a hard time discerning which protein it is after the food is all cooked down. Because these instruments that they're using are not necessarily there to find the tuna that they're looking for. They're designed to look for other things. Now they're looking for tuna, but if it was so cooked down, it was melted down. And actually, this is a direct correlation to the UAP report.
Wow.
Because they said a part of the reason why 143 out of 144 recorded UAP sightings that could not be identified is because the actual sensors that they have are not built to measure the UAP phenomena specifically.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm assuming it's unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, it is.
Is that it? If Inside Edition was in charge of the UAP research, I think we'd get to the bottom of it. Because
Inside Edition did the Subway tuna investigation.
Inside Edition
What
also.
What is happening to our institutions?
Well, they have crumbled. And also our True Talk, our hearts go out to the people in Miami.
Yes.
That is so freaking horrifying.
So scary.
People deserve to live in homes that don't collapse on them. So hopefully some justice is brought in that case.
A brief sidebar is that I remember how I lived in apartment complexes for years that had like the elevator certification on them would say like,
Maybe
from
it'll work.
4
Maybe it
years
won't.
ago. And
Yeah.
you think like, oh, there's no way it can't be, that unsafe. And then all of a sudden your neighbor who's 9 months pregnant gets stuck inside the elevator. This shit happens all over the country.
Dude.
It's why we kind of need a gigantic infrastructure reboot.
New York has some of the scariest elevators ever. I've almost been stuck in multiples. I was stuck in seeing a John Gosnavy's elevator.
That was a tiny one.
And that was scary. Anywho, Inside Edition, they brought their crack research in February. They tested sandwiches in New York. Now, however, they said that their samples did contain a little bit of tuna.
I think that they were stunts. One Subway employee, he tried to dispel all of these rumors by showing the bag that had the tuna in it. And he said, of course it's tuna. It says flaked white tuna in brine on the box.
Are you a tuna guy at Subway? Have you ever had it?
I talked about it for years. I used to eat the tuna with barbecue chips on top of it.
Well, I mean, I understand the barbecue chip thing, I guess. But, wow, that's gross.
Isn't that gross?
It's a little gross.
That's what I used to like.
I have the tuna, and can I get a bag of barbecue chips?
What I like about the barbecue chips on it is they give it some texture, so you feel like you're eating something. It's not just about the cream.
Anywho.
But wow, this is huge because they're really coming at him hard because they said, I don't think a sandwich place would intentionally mislabel Dave Rudy. That's what he's trying to say. The Catalina Offshore Products, the guy that sends around the tuna.
Yes,
right?
he's the tuna man. He's the president of the Catalina Offshore Products.
They buy any can of tuna that says tuna. If there's any fraud in this case, it's happening at the cannery.
It's happening at the cannery.
They're blaming our workmen at the cannery, the fishermen. They're blaming the fishermen.
We need to check the pockets of all these fishermen and of all the people who are canning this so-called tuna. If there's tuna in said pockets, we know who's stealing it, much like that Johnny Cash song about building a car one piece at a time. So people are taking this very seriously.
They should.
Rep for Subway, they told Complex Magazine, the taste and quality of our tuna make it one of Subway's most popular products.
It is.
And these baseless accusations threaten to damage our franchisees, small business owners who work tirelessly to uphold the standards.
They tested 60 inches of tuna. There's a base. There's 60 inches of a base.
They go on to say,
that's 5 feet.
This person is really going in, this rep for Subway. They go on to say, given the facts, the lawsuit constitutes a reckless and improper attack on Subway's brand and goodwill. And of course, it does, threaten the livelihood of the California franchisees. I'm going to say this. Go with their chicken. I like their little roasted chicken breast.
I like the roasted chicken
That's all
breast,
that
but
happens.
honestly, you know what Ed fucking Larson got me into?
What?
Jersey Mike's.
Yeah, Jersey Mike's.
I fell to them.
I just
fell
have
to their
say,
sword.
They get a little oily. They
I
get
like
all
a
of it,
little oily
but
Eddie
sometimes
added
it's-
oil to those sandwiches that we ate. You're talking about at the baby shower.
No, not at the baby shower. I've ordered it, and now I go no oil.
Yeah.
Because they went oil crazy. And
I
want to
be in charge of my oil.
That's it. Anyway, Ireland Supreme Court also came against Subway because they said you can no longer legally call Subway sandwiches bread because there's too much sugar. What are we eating? I think
I
that's
don't know.
The big main overfocus here that we need to have is
What is food?
What is food? What is Subway? If it's not considered bread in Ireland, which I don't think they're known for health.
If anybody could talk about fucking food and being bad, it can't be Ireland. All
That's
right.
how bad Subway bread is. Even
good
the
Lord.
Irish, they're hammered.
They
truly.
invented Bennigans.
Oh, but
They don't know
Bennigans are-
anything about food.
Well, anywho.
But we love the Irish. Can't wait to go back.
we love the Irish. I love Ireland. And next
Despite
time,
all my previous comments.
well, I don't think you've said anything too bad.
I've
about
grown
the
over
Irish.
time. They like being bog people. We're bog people too.
I want to go see what's the spot in. We're not going to go to Dublin, or maybe we will, but I want to go see like rural Ireland.
We have to go out to the hills.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. All right, guys. So the UAP report has come out. It's a full 9 pages.
Oh, that'll get to the bottom of it.
But you should really read it because some of their findings, while I have poo-pooed it in the past and I poo-pooed some of the hearsay I'd heard about it, it is interesting to see it written out. Because number one, it talks about the U.S. Navy being the forefront of the UAP phenomenon.
Sure.
It throws a little bit of shade at the Air Force.
Why?
Because they said they've had a hard time getting the Air Force to cooperate with these investigations because basically they do say it in the report, which I think is important because of the previous attitude towards UAPs. Because it creates ridicule. People make fun of you. They say that you're not a reliable person if you have seen a UFO.
Sure.
And so they openly acknowledge that in the report. And again, 143 of 144 sightings they are now saying are inconclusive. They don't know what they are.
What's the one that they found? Was that a?
They said it was a balloon.
Oh, it was a balloon.
Yes, they said it was a balloon. They used these sightings that they had from 2004 to 2020.
Okay.
So everything that was new, everything that was a part of what they try to basically they tried to create a standardized form of reporting a sighting about 2 years ago. And now they're trying to say we really do need an even more standardized version of testing to really figure out what's the scientific basis of all of these sightings. Because they label it under 5 specific I want to say like types of what they might consider to be what UAPs are. So number 1 is airborne clutter. That's the thing that they're actually most concerned about.
Space dirt?
Yes, shit in the sky that is getting in the way of our jets. So
Okay.
according to them, these objects include birds, balloons, recreational unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, that kind of shit.
Okay.
So they think it's that. It's things just getting in the way of our jets. Then it's natural atmospheric phenomena, which is what the British are actually concentrating quite a bit. Their efforts. They're saying that they think that what it might be is some form of plasma type energy bullshit that is forming inside of our atmosphere, and it basically is kind of what I said about how the phenomena is imitating our planes and our
Sure.
technology, that it's that, but it's some kind of unintelligent earthly phenomena.
Plasma. Okay.
They just said that. It is industrial development projects, which is what they're trying to say is within the U.S. government, are there hyper secret parts of the U.S. government that are creating technology that they don't know about, right? That the rest of it don't know.
This is why we've got to audit the Pentagon.
But it's going to be difficult to get them to sit down with all those receipts.
I know.
But they are openly saying that they don't think it's anything that we have. That is the main thing that the UAP report really comes out and says, is that they don't think it's us, and they don't think it's the second to last one, which is foreign adversary systems, which comes from Russia or China. They don't think Russia or China also has anything like this. And so the last big category is a thing called other. Because the UAP report does not refer to extraterrestrials in any way, shape, or form. It only says that they are trying to keep this sane, logical, based in reality.
Well, I hope that the Navy and the Air Force aren't fighting too much over it. They're going to need to come together. I don't think they should be calling each other like air cucks and sea dicks.
Well, that's what they're trying to say here is that they're trying to create cooperation between all the different departments. And the main thing at the very end says, we need more money. And they sneak that in right at the very end.
$750 billion a year.
Oh, yeah. They said, we definitely need more money, which honestly does make sense because what I alluded to during the Subway Tuna update was the concept that our ships and our planes have very sensitive machinery on there that is used to test for a wide array of bullshit of sky tuna.
Sky tuna.
So this is what this is too. You might as well call this sky tuna because they don't know what it is.
Sure, absolutely. It's a UAB, unidentified.
Find it. What is it?
Unidentified aerial bread.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. But the French also put out a report the same week that is sponsored by Sigma 2 over there. And what they have said is they are way more pointed towards they think it might be extraterrestrial mixed with some sort of natural phenomena that we don't understand. They also don't think it's other people's technology. They think that it's something atmospheric. But
can we trust the French?
Well, they do throw some shade against the British in it. As well.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
But it is interesting. Apparently, the report that the Senate got, so the Congress actually got a report that it's about 90 pages. So it's 10 times this report.
Right.
And this report, this 9-page one, what it seems to do is hit a bunch of the highlights that they talk about. And then the secret 90-page report actually has all of the shit that this 9-page top sheet, like, what it refers to. So it talks about all of the specific things, like how there was 11 near misses. That they said that's the biggest thing, which is the objects coming at the nose cone of jets and then diverting, which is very strange.
I don't want to think about that, bro. We're going to start traveling again. I can't have all of that anxiety rolling around in my head.
Fucking Mothman's all over Chicago. It's going to be really hard flying in and out of Chicago when you got yourself a totally nude 7-foot moth zipping around.
These senators are total morons. I really don't think that they deserve to see the full 90-page document. I'm sure that human beings could handle it. I actually would love to know that information just for my own little brain noodle to see how scary is it to fly? I'm assuming everything will be safe.
It's scary.
But I just don't think that those senators deserve to have all of that information and not us. We deserve that info. We can handle it. Give us the truth.
Now you got Lou Elizondo's threatening to show some footage. He says that he had a whole dump.
He's been doing that for a long time.
That's all he does. But he is saying that he had a bunch of high fidelity footage that got deleted when he was kicked out of ATIP, when he said he was in charge of it, which I doubt entirely. I think he was a janitor for ATIP that managed to steal shit and give it to the New York Times, but that's fine. That's my opinion. But Jeremy Corbell, that did The Phenomenon, he's a documentary director that he was on Rogan. He's on a bunch of shit. He's saying he has other new highly clear footage that he's supposed to drop, I believe, on TMZ. Is supposed to have it. We'll see how that fucking goes. Honestly, but we're in unprecedented times in more than one way because we're seeing them really take UAP seriously. I guess at first I was kind of like, obviously, whatever they say, I don't believe them. But the fact that the U.S. government did come out and say UAP and the words "I don't know" wrapped up in it is very interesting. But, it could be another special ops, deep, dark, covert fucking psyop play as well.
Well, they're going to have to go on Rogan and spill the beans.
Come here!
Yeah, of course. No, honestly, come here.
Live from your grave.
Well, let's just come back to Earth really quick. Sex, human beings.
Sex.
Many people are lonely out there.
Sure, yeah.
And
people are lonely.
sometimes they turn to sex dolls. And this story,
people love a sex doll.
I actually find this story to be uplifting. I almost made this sex doll hero of the week.
Wow.
A person requested an iGrandpa, which is a sex doll that has, it's elderly, it has wrinkles, it has silver hair, kind of looks like an older Marcus Parks in some ways.
Good, that's great. I'm sure he'll love that. Oh, he does look like...
He really does.
Wow, it really does.
Even the same...
It looks like Julian Assange.
A little bit. Free Julian Assange, would you? The real doll captioned its Instagram post by saying, "Okay, we get daddy issues, but this might be a whole new level," kind of making fun of the person a little bit. The company's flagship sex doll is the artificially intelligent Harmony doll, and it's also working now on a male sex doll, and you know what it's called?
What?
Henry.
I'm already a male sex doll.
There is a sex doll that looks
lie there.
A sex doll that looks like an older Marcus, and they've named it Henry. So this is directly marketed to our fans.
This is my question. So it has a dick, right?
It must.
So do you operate it yourself? So you take the old man doll, you put it on top of you, you stick the dick inside of you, and then you move the butt back and forth to be fucking you?
It's just kind of a long form dildo.
But does it have a butthole so that you could fuck him? Like, does it get to also be a bottom or the term verse? I've also heard.
This is an exact sentence, and this is coming from thesun.com. They say the company has been working on a bionic penis for Henry that will be able to become erect.
You just get the. Why do you need anything more than a layer pump?
This is not your wife consoling you. This is a man who's paying top dollar, and he's going to need to see a pretty big ding-dong on this old man.
I know.
And as we all know from the YMCA showers growing up, gravity takes a toll on the male genitalia, and old men have ding-dongs that go to their knees.
I know, but then it doesn't get fully hard unless you got the pump in there.
Yeah, that's true. So according to the CEO of Real Doll, that's Matt McCollum, he previously was joking about this. He says, we're going to be working on some form of very e-pickle insert for Henry so that he's able to lift trucks with his penis.
Whoa, it's going to be huge cock.
That might be too powerful.
But you can't fuck him, though.
You have to fuck him.
But I mean, like,
in the butthole.
Yeah, you can't, like a man can't get Henry and fuck him. Or you can't fuck him with the strap on if you like that.
I would assume that they've carved in the butthole. That would be very easy, I would think.
I mean,
I think it's the erect penis that seems very difficult for them to figure out.
Hey, man, if they could figure out these wheelies, you know what I mean? You put it on the bottom of your shoes, they'll figure out how to get that doll hard.
I did love those shoes. Those were so fun. Kids used to use them in the mall. So Real Dolls, they're working really hard.
Wheelies are domestic terrorism.
However, they are also very cautious. They don't want the boner to get too strong because then it could cause harm.
What do you mean?
This is what McCollum...
What does that even mean?
That
sounds like what I say to my wife.
This is what McMullen explained. He says, we're already starting to animate the body. The problem is, when can a body be animated and then be safe to throw into someone's bed?
Oh, it probably humps.
So he says, a robotic arm that's strong enough to lift the entirety of its silicone weight is pretty darn strong. And if something goes a little bit off with that, it could take your head off.
This is huge. Oh, wow. We're going to see so many sex bot murders. I can't wait for that new news 10 years from now. Oh, so it can perch. Oh, wow. And then it has a hump mechanism.
It's a whole...
Oh, wait. Does that have a video to show how it works?
Well, this isn't the one that we're referencing, though. This is just another 3D.
Oh, it can just lay there. But can it pump? I want to see it pump.
It's a long process. This is them. They're just kind of making it. But yeah, I mean, the female sex dolls, they are talking and everything now. That's just them kind of making it. It's a lot of art.
It is a lot of art.
But you imagine you're having sex with this really old, weird dude that is a robot, and then he just starts choking you out. And how scary is that?
I guess you kind of like the surprise? You might like the surprise.
Interestingly enough, there's a lot that goes into this. I'm just realizing Professor Noel Sharkey, he's the chairman of the Foundation for Responsible Robotics.
Okay.
He said guilt-free threesomes was just one of the potential uses for sex robots.
That's really interesting.
But others include teledildonautics.
What's teledildonautics?
Well, it's a wireless technology which allows a person to stimulate their partner remotely, and it already exists in many vibrators on the market today.
Whoa,
so
that's fucking crazy. A cockmobile. You literally can sit in your home and you can send an old man robot out at somebody else's wife or girlfriend and watch them get fucked by the machine. Wow, and I guess that's not cheating. If you are watching from the side, because then you could do your own cock porn yourself where you're watching the robot rail on your fucking wife or your girlfriend and you just sit there and you don't even have to worry about dealing with the buck now having your phone number. You don't have to worry about him just showing up randomly asking to borrow your car.
I think you're going to have a relationship conversation, because if you walked in and Natalie was boning this old man named Henry, and then I would be like, what? So what?
Oh, no, I'm talking about you being involved in the conversation where I guess the term would be hire Henry. You'd get to purchase him, because then also, do you own Henry? Especially if Henry could say stuff like, can I have a glass of water?
Yeah.
Like, what does he say?
That would short circuit the dick.
What do you think he'd say?
Probably how much he loved fucking your wife.
I love to fuck. I love to fuck. I am real. I have a soul.
So the sex bots, they also have hyper-realistic features such as built-in heaters to create the feeling of body warmth.
Wow.
And they have sensors that react to your touch. They've gotten a lot better since the old days where I was shopping at El Dorado's in Stevens Point.
Where back before it was an inflatable sheep that used to get, give to your buddies and be like, hey, fuck sheep.
It was just a torso with Jenna Jameson's boobs and then her butt and then her vagina. But it wasn't quite as interactive as this this old man Henry. So if you're lonely out there, try a sex robot. But I also feel like, don't let it replace human contact.
I mean,
because
if
it's not going to. Oh, but then again, what
I
do
mean,
I know?
I don't
If
know. I don't
that's
know.
what you like. That's what you like.
I don't
Okay.
know. It's interesting. Here is another very interesting story. We got a lot of good news this week.
What is going on with exorcisms?
There's a lot of exorcisms out there. I think people are bored looking for a hobby. This is police. This comes from the phillyvoice.com.
Woo!
Police kick out group holding exorcism for the dead trees at Pennsylvania Home Depot.
I don't even understand the sentence.
I don't know. A police report from Dixon County and Lackawanna County raised eyebrows this week for its bizarre description of an incident that happened Monday. 3:26 p.m. Commerce Boulevard at Home Depot for disorderly people having an exorcism in the lumber aisle for the dead trees. They were escorted out of the building. They're all laughing at them, obviously.
Can you do an exorcism for trees?
I don't know, but the police officer was sort of correctly condescending when he said there were two people hanging out in the lumber department doing their little exorcism thing. Some people at the store started picking up that something was happening that was not necessarily normal. Police were called into the store and they were escorted out of the building.
Okay.
I don't really understand. Apparently they were doing it because all of the trees were dead there. They were trying to help the souls of the trees pass on.
Okay. I mean, I guess it was well-intentioned. Also, Home Depot probably have trees that aren't dead if you're trying to sell trees to people. But yeah, that was just one of the exorcism stories. There's another one that comes in from Plymouth, and this is involving a 19-year-old kid named Jack Callahan. He was trying to exorcise the demons from his father before his death, and they were at a place called Duxbury Pond, but then the dad just died. So I guess it didn't work. Or did it?
I don't think
know.
so. No, it's supposed to work. He's supposed to live.
Yeah, police say Callahan, that's the 19-year-old. He went to a bar in Boston, and then he got totally lit.
Sure,
and
yeah.
then
And then he started getting creative, and then the gears started turning.
Yeah, and then an Uber picked him up and then dropped him off at the Island Creek Pond in Crocker Park. And then Jack said his father hit him. Then a fight moved into the pond. And then it seems like Callahan told investigators he believed he was baptizing his father in the pond to exorcise his demons. According to the police, they say he described that he was holding his father in the pond on his back like a little baby, that he continually dunked his father's head in the water about 4 to 8 times, and then his father started to cough and choke. And then he would lift his head up, and then he would, and then when his father started to fight and strike him, he pushed the head back down into the water. He did so until his father was no longer struggling and floating. It seems like it was more of a murder.
Yeah, that's not an exorcism. That's a drowning. It sounded like he was trying to do a baptism, not an exorcism, which also doesn't necessarily make any sort of sense. It sounds like, and I may be out on a limb here, they were very intoxicated and that they got into a fight and then he decided to do them. You remember the movie The Apostle?
Of course.
With Robert Duvall?
Robert Duvall, one of the best of all time.
He's one of the best Italian Irish that's out there. And they went out there and he just dunking him and dunking him and dunking him. Honestly, I feel like if he were to maybe stop and say, hey, what are we doing here? He might regret his actions.
Yep. And so, of course, he was arrested for the murder of his father. But you know what? He's 19. I feel like it's all in the family. This isn't the worst murder. I feel like if I'm a dad and I'm doing all this crazy stuff and I'm fighting my 19-year-old son, sometimes the 19-year-old son wins the battle. The defendant indicated to officers that he made statements to the victim at this time stating, I left him there to decide, you can come to heaven with me or hell. I think he chose hell.
I mean, you chose hell because you murdered him. And then you put him, and if he was going to go to hell, you quickened him to hell. And now you will go to hell, if any of that holds.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might not hold. He will be in hell, though, because he's going to go to prison.
No, all he has to do is say, I'm sorry, right before he dies, and then he gets the Hail Mary pass, and then he's fine.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry, God. Sorry.
Rise from your grave.
This is another harrowing story. It's been a while since we've had chimp news.
It really has.
And it's so good to have it.
I love it.
Because it's nice to mix up the crimes with other species.
Absolutely.
That's not just fucking them. You know what I mean? Because we have so many, like someone sent us technically the fake story of which I thought, I thought it was a funny sentiment. Like the guy who said, hey, I might be a chicken fucker because he got caught fucking all these chickens. But he said, I fuck these chickens because every time I thought about fucking my mother. I instead had sex with these chickens.
And I guess that's better.
I don't know, but I
don't know.
I see how the logic tracks. But this story is about, you got to be careful about your pets. And when it really comes down to it, it's 2021. When did we first cover a chimp attack? Like
Oh my
10 years
God.
ago, 9
Probably
years ago.
Round Table of Gentlemen used to do a weekly segment, I feel like, on chimp attacks, because there was that one woman who gave that chimp all of that wine and
Oh,
Xanax,
yes.
and then that chimp ripped her face off.
We definitely played a 911 call during that episode where we
Yes.
heard the harrowing noises of a woman being attacked by a chimp, and we're about to do it again. But this is not nearly as graphic as the last one. I wanted you guys to hear the directions of the former ape owner. But let me read through what went down.
Yeah, please.
This is from OregonLive.com. Umatilla County, or maybe Umatilla County, sheriff's deputy kills chimpanzee that attacked woman. An Umatilla County sheriff's deputy shot and killed a chimpanzee Sunday after it attacked a 50-year-old woman in Pendleton. The woman, who officials have not identified, was taken to St. Anthony's Hospital in Pendleton.
Well, it's got to be pretty easy to identify her. She's the one who just got into a fight with a chimpanzee. She's probably missing her fingers and hands.
Covered in chimp bites.
Yeah.
Yep. Tamara Brogiati is the chimp's owner. She reported around Sunday 8 a.m. that the chimpanzee had gotten out of its cage and attacked her daughter. She said her daughter was trapped inside of a basement bedroom. Now, this is really interesting because apparently the chimpanzee was Buck, and it was 17 years old, or maybe a little bit older.
Dang, okay.
Apparently, Oregon made it illegal to own chimpanzees in 2010, but authorized anyone who had already owned an ape prior to that time to keep the animal for the remainder of its life.
They grandfathered him in. Okay, good for, what was the chimp's name again? Buck.
But apparently, this is according to Erica Fleury, who is a program director at the North American Primate Sanctuary Alliance. Attacks from any privately owned primate in captivity should be expected, because these animals are not living healthy lives where they can express their natural urges and engage in natural behaviors.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrible. And it seems like Brogiati, she understood that this animal was probably not treated very well and probably very angry, because when she gave a call to the police, her exact words were,
Here, we'll
do
play it.
you want to play it? Let's play this audio,
let's play
because
some of it.
she seemed to know that this chimp was going to kick some ass.
It has attacked my 50-year-old daughter. She needs an ambulance. The ambulance cannot get to her because I've locked myself in the basement with her. I can't get out to get my own gun.
Okay.
She's on the patio. You're going to have to do a headshot.
Okay.
Jeez.
Is she bleeding?
She's bleeding profusely, and she
Okay.
needs an ambulance. I'm trying
Where
to
is she
be calm,
bleeding at?
ma'am. All over.
Yeah, we've got them en route right now.
Okay, is Terry Rowan there? Ma'am?
We're sending a deputy right now. Hang on one second. Okay, I'm typing
Send
this up
more
right
than
now.
one, because the ape, if the ape gets a drop on him, he's gone too.
We're sending Pendleton as well.
There's no, I've never seen anything like this. He's got to be put down.
Okay, do you have pressure on the wounds?
I'm trying to guard her from a 200-pound ape, so I can't really put pressure on it, ma'am.
And you guys are both locked in the basement. You're both locked in the basement, correct?
We're both locked in the basement, yes. And they've got to do a headshot on the ape. Don't say, oh, it's cute, or come here. It will attack them.
Jeez,
Yes,
and
man.
naturally the chimpanzee was killed by
It's
a gunshot
very sad.
to the head. What also,
No humans died, though, this time. So that's why it's less grisly, because no humans died. It is difficult because Buck was out of
Can
control.
I just say that woman, was she a little rude? I think she was a little bit rude to the 911 operator.
It is
But I
interesting
don't
to
know
see.
how I don't know how I would react, but I just feel like she was very like,
You've just been living with this ape for 17 years, and then it goes ape shit, literally,
Naturally.
and then you know exactly what to do, which is like she's not freaking out, because you remember how heartbreaking that first 911 call, because she was genuinely very emotional and
And she
close.
loved the ape.
Of course, yeah, she
Yes.
was very close to that monkey, and she really wanted to, like, she was upset over everything was going on. Meanwhile, this woman's like, shoot it in the head.
No problem.
You're gonna have to shoot it in the head because if not, it comes back to life. 2 taps. There's not a body. You know it's not dead. You see the dead body.
Yeah, she seemed like too calm with the future assassination of what I would assume was a beloved animal, unless maybe
Not
she
anymore.
treated it like dog shit, which is also possible, which is maybe why the ape freaked the frick out.
Absolutely. Well, it's also just because they're really not supposed to be in human homes.
No,
especially
they're not.
after a certain age. When they get older, they get more aggressive, and they can fucking rip your arms off.
Yeah, dude, I'm not messing with them. Although maybe like a little. What was like Bubbles? What was
Bubbles was a chimp.
But he was tiny.
No, Bubbles. The thing about Bubbles is that
Well,
man, he
knows
could keep a secret.
Yes,
yeah.
he could.
Jeez,
oh my
Lou,
goodness.
man.
Well, all right. Speaking
Sure,
of,
I wish I had the pet so
Okay.
loyal.
Thank you so much for that wonderful impression. Here's kind of a fun story, and you know what? I say this one hits close to home because I would have gone to this perhaps.
Well, this sounds like a fucking either the funnest or worst time on the face of the planet.
Can it be both?
Yes.
It's a redneck rave. Tens of thousands of people attended a 5-day redneck rave festival. It took place in Kentucky at a thing called the Mammoth Cave. But believe it or not, when you get a bunch of rednecks together, violence ensues. They also had flamethrowers.
This shit is
and it looks absolutely insane.
Tens of thousands.
It was
of people.
branded as America's wildest and craziest country party.
It is. That man, you see that man shooting, that is a 20-foot long flame
It is
out of a flamethrower.
It doesn't look like it was very safe. But anywho, 48 people have been charged after a redneck rave in Kentucky descended into chaos. One man even had his throat slit. Another woman was choked in a fight over a blanket. And another man became impaled on a log.
Oh, yes. It is intense.
It's if you look at the pictures,
It's incredible.
It really
Do you
was
see
a
this?
redneck rave.
It's just a picture of a woman with a sign that says, take a shot of my breast milk with the breast pump. And she is got a whole thing full of pump, a whole thing all full of milk. And then also like the guy whose car is stuck in a ravine with a flag on it that says, fuck Biden. They are exuberant.
I would feel more safe hanging out with juggalos at the Juggalo Fest any time of the day than hanging out with these people. They were having fun though.
Did you ever go
Until they
mudding?
weren't. No, I never really went mudding.
I went mudding
Never
one
really
time, and it is very interesting because you get it all muddy. Everybody's drinking, even the 15-year-olds, especially the drivers.
Of course.
You get that whole circle all full of mud. And the whole thing is you get the car stuck in the mud, and then another guy comes and pulls it out.
Yes, exactly.
And they really like it.
There was actually a story that took place from MTV. I forget what the name of the show was. Trashy kids who want to be famous. I forget the name of the show. But a dude died because he got his little muffler. It was in the mud, and then carbon monoxide went into his car, and he died.
That's so scary.
Yeah, they actually edited the episode.
Whoa.
Wow, that's how serious it was.
Well, look
So-
at this. Yeah, this is another one. Hodges denied choking. This is another woman who got... this is very, very interesting. The people fighting over the blanket. 29-year-old Lancer Hodges was arrested after he allegedly strangled a woman until she passed out because they got fighting over that blanket. The victim, who told police she couldn't breathe and blacked out during the ordeal, was left with scratches and fingerprints and fingerprints behind her ears, which is very funny, but in a sad way. And fingerprints behind her ears. Hodges denied choking the woman, but he was actually charged with strangulation and something called wanton endangerment, which actually I should be charged for several times. I'm a wanton serial killer.
Absolutely. Everyone loves a good wonton. According to the Edmonson County Sheriff Shane Doyle, believe it or not, he says, they were intoxicated. They got into a fight. And then this is regarding the throat slicing. One of them slit the other one's throat and then fled the park. They haven't arrested the throat slasher yet.
No,
so he's still out there.
A man driving a side-by-side at the festival, he got his log impaled in his abdomen, which I don't understand how that even happens.
know.
Authorities say the man drove over the log, but it broke through the floorboard of his recreational vehicle and stabbed him in the abdomen. They keep saying abdomen. I think they mean asshole.
Maybe.
Or up through the taint if it came up through the seat.
Maybe through the seat, or maybe through where you got the accelerator and decelerator. What do you call that thing?
When it tried
Gas
to
pedal.
come out through his back, it was stopped by a steel plate behind his seat. The first responders were forced to leave the log on the man's abdomen while they airlifted him to the hospital. Wow, look at the sea of bodies in this picture.
Dude, that's a
Look at these
nightmare, man. I
beautiful,
remember
beautiful
hearing a story
bodies.
about that where the dude was impaled by a tree and then you're still alive, but as soon as they take you off of that tree, you're going to die. So they're like, so dude, we got about 10 minutes, then you're going to be dead. And it probably happened to this guy. How'd you get a log out of somebody? He's probably just dead now.
Flax.
Oh my gosh.
But it is.
There were multiple others who suffered severed fingers,
but
broken bones,
yes.
dislocated joints, and severe lacerations. This makes Woodstock 99 look like it was nothing but a pleasant time.
Dude, I have no problems with the Redneck Riviera. I have no problems with mudding. I think it's a lot of fun. I totally get it. I almost applaud these people for continuing to do this, even through all the carnage that they kept partying, because I think that's the real spirit of America. That they don't care if they lose a bunch of fingers, if one guy fucking gets a log stuck up his asshole out through his back. He is expressing his freedom.
Absolutely. According to Officer Doyle, they say the first vehicle that they stopped, so this is the first vehicle they stopped, the first vehicle that came through, we found meth, marijuana, and an open alcohol container.
Whoa.
And one of the occupants had 2 active warrants, and we're like, well, this doesn't bode well for the weekend. So it's been a rough weekend. Redneck Rave 2021. What a colossal nightmare at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You don't really want to go, but at the same time, I do. Like, I want to see it from a safe distance. I drive a truck around.
Also, the dude who organized it, his name is Justin Stower. He boasted that the festival was the coolest thing I've seen in my whole life.
Of course.
And then he goes on to say, we can definitely improve on a lot of things to make the one in October run a lot better. We're listening to all your suggestions. This was the biggest event we've ever done. And with as many people and random things that popped up unexpectedly, I feel like we handled it pretty well.
Yeah, I guess everyone could have died. You know, like every single person there could have been hurt.
Of course, the dude who organized is like, not one slashing, one death, couple of people severed fingers. Not bad.
Out of a test group of 48,000 people that they said came, 40.
No, there was tens of thousands. Was it 48,000?
I don't know.
It was a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, honestly, even 10,000 people is a lot to get at one rave. That's a lot. I guess it must cover a lot of land. But the party does look like a lot of fun. It looks like if Burning Man was called Farting Man.
All right. Anyway, let's see. I think it's time for Hero of the Week.
I think it is.
So this Hero of the Week, this is just an authentic one. It's about a Boy Scout. They can do good things, and they sometimes get demean, but sometimes you learn a good thing in Boy Scouts. I never did it.
Yeah, BTK learned how to tie all those knots.
Oh, that's a horrible thing. Anyway, this is Missouri. A Missouri Boy Scout rescued a drowning woman from a flooded park. So this man's name is Joseph Diener, and his friend Dominic Viet. Dominic is 15 and Joseph is 16. They were just riding their bikes in Columbia on Friday.
That's what Eagle Scouts are supposed to do.
That's what they did. And they heard an 18-year-old woman screaming, and they're like, what the heck is going on? She was struggling near a submerged basketball hoop. So this must have been some kind of flash flood or something. And they were like, we know what to do. We're Boy Scouts. And they went in and they rescued the woman. According to sources, they say the person had entered the water to swim, to the best of our knowledge. These 2 young Boy Scouts come by and heard the distress calls. For 2 15 and 16-year-old boys to react that way, it was very heroic. So good job, guys.
Good work.
And you saved a life, which now means you get to take a life.
Yes.
It would be kind of cool if that worked that way.
Yeah, one free murder, man. That'd be sweet. Get that murder badge.
So the teens, they did a very good thing, and so congratulations. The woman was reportedly conscious and speaking and was taken to the university hospital where her condition is unknown, but it seems as if she will survive. So
wow.
Good job.
Good
and their
work.
scoutmaster, they said they were very happy with the boys, and they better give them some kind of badge.
They better give them a badge, and hopefully it's not the I got molested badge.
Nope, we don't want that one. Clean up these Boy Scouts.
Clean them up. Now it's time for some listener emails.
All right.
So we covered that story last week about a woman burning her 59-year-old woman burning her 81-year-old husband to death with sugar water. And at first we didn't understand the sugar water thing. But apparently it's called prison napalm. That's a good thing that it's been called.
Oh, Jesus.
So listen to this. So first of all, we asked, how does burns kill a person? This comes from a doctor.
Oh.
Massive infection is always a risk with burns that cover a large surface area of the body. Third-degree burns are full thickness, which mean the outmost layers of skin, evolved to form a watertight barrier against infection, is compromised. These burns need to be scraped and dressed daily, and aside from being exquisitely painful, become an easy source for infection. At this state of critical illness, the immune system is already taxed, and someone could develop a blood infection, aka sepsis, and die very easily, especially someone who is elderly. Furthermore, burns cause massive amounts of swelling and inflammation, which quite literally pulls fluid out of your blood vessels and into the swelling tissue. This in turn drops your blood pressure, and it becomes very difficult to keep it within normal levels. We can give more IV fluid all we want, but it will just leak out into the inflamed areas around the burns.
How are people doctors? I still don't know how people are doctors.
It's intense.
It's amazing.
Prolonged low blood pressure can cause critical damage to your kidneys, liver, and heart. Given the patient's advanced age and likely frail status, it's likely he died of multi-system organ failure from one or both of these things in combination.
Oof.
Great.
That's a terrible way to die.
So be careful with sugar water.
Be very careful with sugar water.
Because you'll get burns all over you and it goes down through. Oh, and look at all of this skin. I'm just looking how delicious your skin would be if it was roasted and covered in spices.
It would be tasty. All right.
Okay, here, this is about a haunted house.
Ooh, cool.
My grandparents bought Elmwood, which is what they called the house, in Washington, North Carolina in the 60s, and raised my mom and her 4 younger siblings there. It was there until about 6 years ago when they sold it to a couple from D.C., who have since turned it into a bed and breakfast, which Hillary Duff stayed in.
Oh my God.
Elmwood was built in 1820 and served as a Union Army headquarters and hospital during the Civil War. As you can imagine, the energy in the place was pretty nutso.
Yeah.
Growing up, I knew the house was supposedly haunted and would constantly try to convince the adults to spill the deets that they had after they had a cocktail or two. Over the years, I amassed a handful of creepy stories, which most of the non-believing adults in the family shrugged off, but I believed wholeheartedly. Things like my mom and aunt going to bed in their own beds and waking up in each other's. I've seen those documentaries.
Oh my.
Or my grandmother waking up with a cloaked figure standing over her bed. Also, according to lore, there was a Union soldier who committed suicide in one of the rooms, which was somewhat predictably referred to as the dead man's room. My grandparents let each of their first 4 kids pick their bedrooms and then dubbed the unpicked room the dead man's room.
Oh.
That worked pretty well until my aunt came along and had to deal with the room stigma, perhaps unfairly. To this day, no one knows which room rightfully holds the title, but we all have our opinions. My older sister is particularly sensitive to paranormal activity. When she came of age, quote unquote, period.
Okay.
She began to attract unwanted attention from our ghost soldier friends. One night, when she was visiting our grandparents from college, she was woken up by a sinking feeling on the mattress next to her. She then felt an aggressive male presence climb over her on all fours, shake the bed violently before rolling over and disappearing.
Oh my goodness.
Another time, my sister and I were in adjoining rooms with 2 of her other friends connected by a bathroom. We kept the bathroom doors open between the rooms because we were all a little terrified. My sister and I were awoken in the middle of the night by a violent and inexplicable rattling sound, while her friends in the other room were woken by a ringing alarm clock, which they had to unplug to turn off. Despite the close proximity and open doors, we didn't hear anything in their room, and vice versa. And when my grandparents put the house on the market, the activity increased in the house to the point where my previously non-believing grandmother finally admitted that there was some unexplained shit happening.
Yeah.
She began to hear knocking from interior doors and various sounds, glass breaking, blah, 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 that seemed to be reacting to conversations about selling the house.
Interesting.
It is
Usually
interesting.
the grandmother is a believer. Usually the grandmother is the one that warns everyone in the house that the house is indeed haunted.
Yeah, because they're closest to heaven.
Indeed. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for listening, and we hope you're doing good out there. We can't wait to announce as soon as we can the tour dates. They're coming up.
We're gonna do it. Just so you know, a couple of things this week. The Black Death episode. We actually cut the last episode into 2 because it was so long.
This is a 5-er. We got a 5-er here.
Turning it into a 5-er. Just letting you know that because we basically cut a 3-hour episode in half because we can actually fit in even more details now, and that's what we like. And we also think that y'all like we're having such a good time doing the episodes, and we can't wait to but Just so you know, we have a bunch of shit coming up that you're going to be very excited about. Also, know for a fact, there's a let's just say there's an after credit scene in this upcoming episode.
Oh, very interesting indeed. We'll also have some weed conversation for you because we're starting to get it in Los Angeles.
July 24th, we're going to be in Santa Ana at Whedon. We're going to be there. I don't know the hours yet. But we're going to be there. Meet and greet. We're doing it. We're going to be hawking our weed. And we're going to be sowing our seed.
Probably be stoned as hell, too.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to be. It's going to be a low energy meet and greet.
All right, everyone. Hail yourselves.
Oh, yeah? You're not going to let me?
Oh, no, that's right.
Love
that's
my
right.
life. Love my life. Love my life for me, Kissel.
I do.
Just look at me. Love my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Because you know what it's like to live in these Vans I'm
Those
currently
short
wearing,
shorts, yeah.
my little moccasins. Do you know what it's like?
I do.
What would you think it's like living my life?
Probably kind of comfortable.
It is.
Yeah.
You can be, yeah.
You can wear tiny clothes.
I do have tiny clothes. Yeah, we have a different existence. That's right. And hey, sometimes I think about our differences and I just laugh.
Laugh? You have to.
You have to, because if not, you end up crying. And it's not live, laugh, cry, is it?
It is not. Thank God. No one's allowed to live, laugh, cry. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Magustalations.
Hail Molly.
Sugar is for candy.
You're right.
Not for burning
Not
people.
for burning people. This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.